Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have officially separated after nearly 2 decades together, and Hollywood is reeling from the news. After almost 20 years of being celebrated as one of the industry's strongest couples, the curtain has finally closed on their marriage. And the story behind their split is one that blends love, heartbreak, and the unrelenting pressures of fame. The shocking revelation comes after months of speculation. Insiders had whispered that something wasn't right, but many fans dismissed the rumors, clinging to the fairy tale image of a glamorous movie star and a country music icon who seemed destined to last forever. Yet now it's confirmed. Nicole and Keith had been living apart, quietly trying to manage a separation that has been building beneath the surface for quite some time. To truly understand the magnitude of this breakup, we need to go back to where it all began. The year was 2005. Nicole Kidman, already an Academy Award-winning actress, had been through one of Hollywood's most publicized divorces with Tom Cruise. She was guarded, reserved, and uncertain whether she would ever find love again. On the other hand, Keith Urban was a rising force in country music, a man with immense talent but also struggling with personal demons, particularly his long-standing battles with addiction. The two met at a G-Day USA event in Los Angeles, a celebration of Australian talent abroad. According to those who were there, Keith was shy but deeply struck by Nicole's presence, while Nicole herself admitted later that she felt an immediate connection. Their romance blossomed quickly, and by June 2006, they were married in a grand ceremony in Sydney, Australia, surrounded by family, friends, and an adoring media. But the fairy tale was never without cracks. Just 4 months into their marriage, Keith checked himself into rehab for substance abuse. Nicole was by his side, determined to stand by the man she loved. For many, that moment defined her devotion. She could have walked away, yet she chose to fight for him and for their marriage. Keith, years later, would publicly thank her, saying her love had saved him. Their story of resilience became a Hollywood legend. For years afterward, they appeared inseparable. Red carpets, award shows, charity galas, they radiated affection. Keith often gushed about Nicole in interviews, calling her his rock and his greatest achievement, while Nicole referred to Keith as her love of the life. They welcomed 2 daughters together, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, and made Nashville their home. Unlike so many celebrity couples, they projected an image of stability, balancing Hollywood glamour with a grounded family life. But, as we've seen time and again, appearances can be deceiving. The demands of 2 massive careers began to pull them in different directions. Nicole's career soared with projects like Big Little Lies, The Undoing, and her consistent presence in award-winning films. Meanwhile, Keith's career as a global touring artist meant months away on the road, late nights, and the pressures of maintaining his stardom in the competitive music industry. Over the past few years, subtle signs of strain became harder to ignore. Fans noticed fewer public appearances together. Nicole began spending longer stretches overseas for film shoots, while Keith's tours kept him occupied in North America and beyond. On social media, Nicole posted fewer couple photos, though she still shared anniversary tributes and sweet messages that many assumed were proof that everything was fine. But behind the scenes, distance and tension were growing. Then came the radio interview that had fans buzzing. Keith was asked about Nicole's acting career, particularly her more intimate on-screen roles, and instead of laughing it off, he abruptly ended the call. For many, this incident revealed cracks in the facade. It was the first time the public saw that perhaps Keith wasn't entirely comfortable with Nicole's Hollywood choices, and speculation grew that this was a point of conflict between them. As the summer of 2025 unfolded, whispers turned into louder rumors. Nicole had applied for residency in Portugal, raising eyebrows when Keith's name wasn't listed on the application. While some dismissed it as a simple bureaucratic detail, others saw it as a glaring sign that she was planning a future without him. Meanwhile, Keith was increasingly absent from Nicole's side at film events and festivals. By September, the truth emerged. Nicole and Keith had been living separately for months. Nicole remained in their Nashville home with their daughters, focusing on her family while also juggling her demanding career. Keith had moved out, settling in a different residence in the same city, but noticeably absent from the family dynamic. For Nicole, the split was devastating. Those close to her say she fought to keep the marriage alive, leaning heavily on her sister and confidants for support. But Keith, according to insiders, felt the relationship had run its course. The heartbreak for Nicole is amplified by the timing. She had just wrapped filming on Practical Magic 2, a long-awaited sequel that had consumed much of her time. She was riding the high of completing a project dear to her heart when the personal blow of separation became public. For someone who has always valued family above all else, the news hit hard. Public reaction has been overwhelming. Fans flooded social media with messages of sadness and disbelief. Many expressed heartbreak at the collapse of what seemed to be one of Hollywood's rare true love stories. Others speculated about the toll of fame, wondering whether the pressures of constant travel, endless work commitments, and living life in the spotlight finally proved too much. Friends of the couple paint a complicated picture. Some say Nicole was fiercely committed to making the marriage work, even as the cracks deepened. Others claim Keith had been emotionally distant for some time and that his inner circle wasn't surprised by the separation. To them, it was not sudden, but rather inevitable. Still, for those who admired Nicole and Keith, the news feels like the end of an era. For nearly 20 years, they stood as proof that love could endure in Hollywood, a place where marriages often collapse within months. They shared children, careers, and a deep history that many thought could weather any storm. And yet, even they could not escape the reality that sometimes love, no matter how strong, isn't enough. The question now is, what comes next? For Nicole, there's no doubt she will pour herself into her children and her work. She has always been resilient, having rebuilt her life after her divorce from Tom Cruise, and she will likely do the same now. For Keith, his music may become both his outlet and his refuge, though fans will no doubt search his lyrics for clues about his heartbreak and the reasons behind this split. What remains clear is that this breakup is not just another Hollywood story. It is a reminder that even those who seem to have it all, fame, success, fortune, and love, are not immune to the struggles of ordinary relationships. Behind the glitz and glamour are real people facing real heartbreak. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's separation marks the end of a love story that once captivated the world. From their whirlwind romance to their nearly 20 years of marriage, from the battles they fought together to the struggles that ultimately pulled them apart, theirs was a journey that inspired many. And while the marriage may be over, the legacy of their love and the family they built will remain. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this one.